Hi Gemini, welcome to your week ahead Taroscope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Gemini, this is for you. Remember, they are general readings. Use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your key to the week, if you are a continued subby, you know Rafi loves you, and if you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit the subscribe button. Your key to the week is the Hierophant card. So truthfully speaking, this week in all of these different areas of your life, you're going to need to find a way to bring more structure in. I know it's not necessarily what you're known for, and I know it's not something that you particularly like too much of, but truthfully speaking, if you're wanting to make sort of real advancement this week, you are going to have to get a structure in place. Now, Jupiter, interestingly enough, is actually going to help you with this. So one of the things that people don't talk about a lot with Jupiter is the fact that it actually rules things like cohesion. This is about bringing different things together. Yours is a sign of synthesis. You tend to dart about, but truthfully speaking, your sign is about gathering information so that you can start to synthesize an idea or a way forward from the information that's gathered. So this week it's not going to be enough just to gather information. You have to start putting structures and routines possibly even as well for some of you for all of you, but maybe in different areas of life, right? So when I say that, if there's an area of your life that pops up or one of these areas in particular speaks more to you, that's where you're going to need to put a structure in place. Is where you're going to need to think more sort of in terms of a strategy. All right, when it comes to your when it comes to your actions and options this week, you got the Judgment card, right? So this is literally an overhaul of all of the structures of your life. This is about looking at the life that you have, looking at the life that you desire, and asking yourself what is in between those two things. Now, the Judgment card always precedes massive changes. It does tend to bring up big shifts, big changes, and it's also a call to action. This tends to happen through a blast from the past. Now, for those of you specifically that have been married, those of you that were in a very long-term relationship, or maybe for those of you that have been in or were in a specific company for a long time, you could be reconnecting to people from your past. But this isn't just anybody. The characteristics are that you were married to this person before, that you spent a long time at this company with a specific boss or a specific colleague. It's somebody from your past, but it's someone that has been that was at some point a very regular feature of your life. A conversation that you have with them this week could actually make all the difference in how you move forward. Even if that's just that they remind you why you pushed forward, why you decided to move on. Now, when it comes to when it comes to the options that are available to you, the options are to change things up by creating new structures, by creating new routines, okay? Love that for you, actually. When it comes to your communications and conversations, you've got the Page of Pentacles. So what this speaks to here, now, because we're in Gemini season, right? So happy damn birthday if you're celebrating this week. I truly hope you have a wonderful solar return. Remember to fill the day of your birthday with a little bit of all of that good stuff that you want for the year ahead. But truthfully speaking, when it comes to your work, your profession, your career, or your studies, what was going on in Taurus season, so just a few weeks ago, around these things, right? Whatever you decided or dedicated yourself to learning then, for some of you, this might have been a soul lesson that you decided to assimilate or to learn. The first real practical steps of what that looks like or what you need to do will show up for you this week. The universe is giving you very specific instructions this week, Gemini, and if you follow them, it leads you to Wonderland, and if you don't, it's kind of like a snakes and ladders week, right? You can go back to the beginning and start all over again, Or you can take it on the chin and say, okay, you know what? Maybe this is just a ladder that takes me 2 or 3 steps up, but that's still 2 or 3 steps forward, right? Now, for those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, this is nose to the grindstone stuff, right? Like you are digging into whatever it is that you're learning at the moment. And I think this will be instrumental for the changes that are wrought this week. When it comes to those of you that are employed by other people, a conversation that you have this week with a boss or a superior, or maybe a meeting that you have, or there's a bulletin put out company wide, it's going to show you where the gaps in the market are for you to excel or to get promoted or to really advance your career. It's going to require you to start sowing those seeds by having those conversations. Oh, I saw that you guys put this out. Does that mean that you are looking to hire people for positions above mine? If so, what would I need to do in order to get there? You could talk the like literally Gemini can convince the hills to get up and walk away, right? And considering the hills on mountains are static, that kind of goes to show your power of speech. Use it this week, but use it strategically. When it comes to those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, this is about taking ways that you have worked in the past, right? So if you work for yourself now, but once upon a time, as many of us, are in that boat that are self-employed, etc. If at one point you worked in a corporate or a hierarchical structure, what you're being encouraged to do now is to take the knowledge from the past, right? So take the knowledge from the past, take the routines, the regulations, and the structures of the work that you did in the past and apply them directly to your business model now. You need to bring more structure. So as an example, let's say you do the same sort of stuff that I do. This is about setting yourself targets, about setting yourself deadlines. It's about kind of looking at the longer arcs, doing the 1-year plan, doing the 3-year plan, doing the 5-year plan. Truthfully speaking, a lot of people find that stuff quite boring and unsexy. Me personally, my brain's like, oh, give it to me more, right? Once upon a time, probably pre-30, if I said that, my friends would be like, he's been body snatched. Who is this person? Right? But from the age of 30, when I really started to get serious, when I really started to apply myself and wanted to do all of this stuff, you better believe I snatched so many things from all of my previous corporate jobs and I put them in place for myself now. Am I as rigid? No. The beauty is I work for myself, so I get to set those things. So it's not a chore, right? So if you struggle with setting yourself targets and deadlines and stuff, something about your process, I'm sorry to tell you, I'm calling you out here and I'm doing it in love, right? Something about your process is broken and needs to be either readdressed or looked at in some way. If you're setting your own targets, if you're setting your own deadlines, if you're putting the structure into place around your own business, you can't be bored by this stuff. Right? If you are, then there's something about your process that isn't really coming from you. Okay. Now, when it comes to those of you that are retired and no longer working, for a lot of you, this could be you going back to school. Not necessarily, well, no, because the Hierophant's here. So for some of you, this could be in a very official capacity. For others, this looks like maybe you're going back to school to finish the degree that you started but never got to the finish line with, which is a very Geminian trait. All right, for your love and relations, you've got the 9 of Cups. This is beautiful. For those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, this bodes very well for your relationship. There is love and connection and healing this week, and there is potentially you guys rewriting some aspect of your partnership that has been previously quite challenging. It also looks like at this point in time, you and your partner are separately pursuing the things that you really want from life, and combined that's making the life and the connection that much better for you. So I'm here for this, right? I'm totally fucking here for this. And the reason I say that is because the 9 of Cups is a very bright card. It's a blessing or a wish card. So if you've hoped that you can get your relationship really back on track, this week those signs start to really show up. But it's because you're assimilating the lessons of the past. If you are single and looking to mingle, There are opportunities to date, potentially with somebody that either works in a very corporate fashion or is quite sort of not rigid, but definitely a bit more sort of straight-laced than your usual. But I think this works for you for everything else that you're trying to do at the moment. Now, outside of that, the Nine of Cups, especially because you've got this Judgment card here, right? There's something about your energy or your thoughts or your process or your outlook when it comes to your love life this week where you are addressing an old, potentially even past life wound of some sort. And by doing so, it heals your present love life. For those of you that not signed up yet, what are you doing? Get into the lunar lacuna, right? It's every fortnight. We do a full moon or a new moon, give or take, whichever one is there. We've just had the Gemini new moon. You saw the snippet of that where I was talking about how the power of life and death is in the tongue. That one was for the Gemini new moon, right? So pretty big deal because this Gemini new moon is actually quite nice. Yeah, it's a rolling pattern, so you can sign up when you want, you can leave when you want, and all of that good stuff. But I'm telling you, you want to get in there and you want to be a part of this. We're having really just a blast so far, right? Anyway, with that said, for your money and materials, you have the Knight of Wands. With that said, when it comes to your money and your finances, especially if you're approaching a bank, a building society, some form of large money lender, the money that you need is absolutely there. For those of you that are thinking about buying property, especially property abroad or moving abroad or gathering funds for something like that, this bodes very, very well for you. Things look like they will go smoothly, but one thing that you do need to be aware of is they will move fast. So you're going to need to be aware of that and be on board with it, right? If you think you're going to have time to dilly-dally, think again. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, this tends to show up, it's a lot of energy. I love this card for health because it gives you a lot of energy. It's like you've got your mojo back, but coupled with the Hierophant card, because on the heavier side of it, the Knight of Wands can show up as inflammation, and this coupled with the Hierophant card, which is literally the Taurian energies, this will be around the throat. Watch out for things like, if you've got a weak constitution, around the throat anyway, so watch out for your throat, your tonsils, nodules, all of that, especially because you've got Judgment here as well. Throat chakra stuff, right? What are you saying? What are you not saying? What are you not hearing? All of that. Another way this also potentially shows up, if you've already, I'm not a doctor, can't give you medical advice, not a diagnosis. If you've already got problems or issues with the thyroid, this week they can really act up, okay? So it's like you have a flare up of some sort. And then finally, when it comes to your home and environment, same way I said to, I think it was Aries that got this message, home is really just a base of operations this week. It's like you're looking at it and you're thinking, you know what? I don't know how long I'm either A, going to be here, or more importantly, how much longer I want to stay here. And to be quite frank, you're so busy with work and other things anyway, that it's like home is literally just a place to put your head at this moment in time. With that said, let me know in the comments how it shapes up. I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Again, happy damn birthday to you. Take care, and I'll see you soon. And remember, if you want to get a personal reading with me, you can do so on the link in the description box below.